Welcome to Defying Society and Embracing Faith with Holly and Marisa. This is the podcast where we challenge all of our societal norms and explore our faith in modern living.
Mhm. Join us as we navigate through thought-provoking conversations, personal stories, and inspirational insights.
And this is all our opinion.
Mhm.
So, fact checkers.
Yeah, just our opinion
Yep.
and for educational purpose only.
Yes. What's going on?
Well, my husband came home from work today.
Yeah,
Yeah, normally he's not home during the day.
I know.
He seemed real disappointed that we were scheduled to do our podcast, but then he's like, it's all good.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
good.
So
He's one of our big supporters.
he is, yeah. So he's napping now.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week at his
Station.
yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. What about you?
I have to go to work soon. Story of my life.
We were just talking about how it would be nice if you didn't have to go to work. That way I could teach you how to make sourdough and
I know. My one girlfriend and I always talk about that. We're like, we get so jealous of like the homesteading accounts where like people are like out in the gardens all day
Yeah.
and making, sauce inside.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if I didn't have to like pick up and leave to go 45 minutes a different direction
yep.
3 times a day, like
Because you're a good homemaker.
I would be a great home.
No, but you are a good homemaker. I mean, you budget your time well.
I
You
think
keep
I
your
would
house
be
nice,
better if I
cook.
didn't have to work,
Yeah,
you know?
totally. I get it.
But
I was really good at managing my time when I ran a business.
mhm.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
At managing time. I'm better. I readjusted since, but like I had everything scheduled to the minute before, and now I'm like free as a bird.
Yeah. And now it's like
shit's all over the place. Like yesterday, I was like, I should probably write out my whiteboard calendar because my kids like to see it, and it's like
helpful.
halfway through the month.
Yeah.
So I have notes on the one side for like what I need to add to the following month. So I'm like looking at the notes, and I'm like, April 11th, 11:45, dentist, and I'm like, oh my gosh, today's April 11th. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 11:30. So I like called the school. I'm like, I have to pick up so-and-so and so-and-so to take him to a dentist. They're like, okay. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I am really falling apart here.
But you know what? I think it's also really easy to, well, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I feel like when you have a set job
Yeah.
and you have a set amount of hours, you have no other choice but to get your shit together
Yeah,
on the other side of
Right.
things because you
You're not
only
going to get your
have
laundry done if you don't like, yeah.
because you only have like what, like 4 to 6 hours
Right.
of time that you can actually get things done
Yeah.
after work.
Right.
So
if you're going to work out, if you're going to
Yeah.
finish your,
So, like, I remember when I used to work full time, it was, go to the gym first thing in the morning,
Right.
go to work 8 hours, and then come home and then throw a little laundry in, and then go, make dinner, and then
right.
like there was no other like time for any kind of like fuck offery,
Right. That's true.
you know?
Because if you had to be somewhere at 9, let's say, and if you had to get to the 6:30 workout,
Mhm.
or you had to be in your garage working out by 6:30, otherwise you couldn't shower and couldn't, and so you're like, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas like now I'm like, well, if I don't make it at noon, I could just go,
Yeah, because like with my job right now, it's so random because I'm at everyone else's mercy. So
Right.
like I'll find myself where I don't have anything to do all day, and I will like I don't know, like my day like
Blank
you said,
out.
yeah. I'll like be like doom scrolling for a while, and I'll look up and be like, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. What the hell have I
Yeah.
been doing all freaking
It's
day?
wild. It could get
Like what happens anyway? But have you seen this new movie trailer for the moon landing?
I did. I nearly passed out. I nearly
Is
passed
this
out.
like do you think they're messing with us with this one? What is this?
Okay.
So backstory. Well, I'm not sure if everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah, it's
called,
kind of came out. It just came out like
Yeah, I
yesterday.
just saw a couple days ago.
Well, you sent me a really good trailer today. Yesterday, I saw a snippet, and I was like, "What the frick?"
It's called Fly Me to the Moon. It's with Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
So two
the
big names.
cast is
Huge.
very good.
Isn't Christopher Walken in there too? Or no, George
Woody Harrelson, who I
And-
love, by the way.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, so it takes place with the actual moon landing and how they're making it seem like it was all fake.
No, this is what I gather from it.
Okay.
they have to do a Hollywood version of the moon landing at the same time that they're going to the moon, just in case they don't get the footage or it's not as good as what they thought, because it's really important to look and get the whole marketing part of it out, you know. So they really did go to the moon,
So
but they're
that's
going to
what
do
we're
an
gonna think
additional
of.
fake moon landing.
So that's all the stuff that
For us.
crazy conspiracy
No.
theorists will see and be like, oh, we didn't go type thing, right?
I think it's gonna help the people with cognitive dissonance really give themselves like the information they need to combat, you know, us.
Yeah. Because I know that's
Because
what
they're like, no, you don't understand.
Because
they did go. Of course, they had to do
but
the
this
fake
was
one.
the Hollywood version that you guys are all referencing to.
Yeah,
Blah, blah.
there was two.
Yeah.
Duh.
This was my first conspiracy theory ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
I'm
know.
talking like in high school.
Oh, I didn't know
A
that.
kooky high school teacher, and he put it on for us. Like it was like an hour-long documentary about how we didn't go to the moon.
Who's your
I'm
teacher?
not gonna name off any names, but he was pretty awesome. But yeah, I think it was actually like even like 9th grade, and we're sitting there like, and I
Wow.
literally questioned my entire existence.
I didn't even consider it until like, I don't know, the last 7 years, 8 years.
Really?
Yeah. Like probably when Peter started sharing his, you know, belief on, you know, the geocentric
Yeah.
model that we're living on. Or
But there's some pretty compelling evidence for us not going. We haven't been to the moon
No.
since.
Well, we didn't go.
Yeah, I mean, since.
Yeah, right. They lost all the technology apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including
We've
when I
been in space, but space only goes so far.
Can you believe like this is like our reality?
Well, it's really frightening that they're putting this. I mean, we have, you know, it's not coming out until July, but the trailer is wild.
It's pretty intense.
Do you want to put on the
Yeah,
trailer?
I can put on the trailer for us.
Just in case someone's, you know, driving and they're not going to be able to stop what they're doing right now to hear this out.
Yeah. I will put on the trailer.
What? The whole world will be watching. We can't afford to lose to the Russians. We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
You mean to fake it?
No one can ever know what we're doing.
I cannot accept that.
They will shoot you.
What is my budget? Oh, boy.
I know a lot more about the moon than I know about you.
Give me go, no go for launch.
If you fake this mission, every single thing that we have sacrificed will have been for nothing.
You know you couldn't have made it to this day without me.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So that's basically the gist. The backup version was made
The
just
balls,
in case. So that's
the
what
balls of these
I
people.
know. I know. I feel like this is what they want, though. They want us to all fight and have something else to fight over. You know, I think that it's all done on purpose.
Well, you know, it's it's a very sensitive subject when you talk about NASA and even just outer space in general, especially with men.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that just the mention of anything that they've been taught is not real is like soul crushing for like a lot of people, but especially it's almost like boys grow up and it's just like astronauts and
Yeah.
space and, you know, everything about it. And then for you to turn around and be like, it's all
bullshit. Yeah.
is, you know, there's just immediate like defense, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had to learn to tread lightly with that, just purely on my belief system on the earth
What the
that we
Bible
live
says.
on.
Yeah.
But you know, to then say that the moon landing situation was, you know, filmed, I think people can get behind it, but why, right? Like,
Mhm.
then when you start explaining why is what really gets people like backpedaling,
Yeah.
which I know we're going to do an in-depth podcast any day now
On our why.
when we have a little bit more time. But, you know, when you grow up with NASA being this special,
Huge entity
Right.
that, you know, they discover all the things that we aren't able to,
right.
supposedly.
So NASA, it's interesting. NASA was created in 1958. And if you find an encyclopedia
Mm-hmm.
that it was before 1958,
Yeah.
which it's difficult to find if you don't have one, because if you try to buy them, they're very expensive on eBay, because I've been trying.
I remember you've been looking for years.
Yeah, I don't want to spend like $500 on a
Mhm.
set of encyclopedias.
Just want to look at it.
I would be willing to have one,
Mhm.
but not,
Yeah.
I'm not spending the money right now. I always tell people, like, if you know anyone getting rid of encyclopedias, especially in our area,
Yeah. Right.
but anything before 1958 will have the Earth with a firmament over it under a dome. In 1958 is when NASA
Was founded.
was founded, and since then the encyclopedias are different.
Really?
So I won't talk about it more in depth another time because we have other things I know that we want to talk about, but there were like missions to Antarctica that happened before NASA was, developed. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like they were finding different things about this planet we live on,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly
Yeah, it makes
created
you
a
wonder
space.
what they don't want you knowing.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Anyways, that's
Right.
NASA.
Okay.
And
We shared a little bit on NASA with our solar eclipse post
Mhm.
too. And
what that all means.
yeah, the serpent's tongue and all that. The logo.
So have you seen, because we were talking about movies, have you seen Don't Look Up?
No.
Okay. So Don't Look Up wasn't really, I don't feel like publicized quite as much. And I only like a few Thanksgivings ago, I was ill, and didn't go to Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed home, which I'm very rarely sick. But it was during the time where people were like, if you're sick, maybe stay home.
Oh,
So I was like, I don't want to get my family, sick during the holidays. So I stayed home, which is unlike me. And I also laid down and watched a movie, which was unlike me. So I was on Netflix or something. I'm like, what's this? Don't Look Up. So it is
about chemtrails?
no. What's it about? So who's the actress in it? It's Leonardo DiCaprio, and let me see if Jennifer Lawrence. You've never even
No.
Oh, dude, I'm going to play the trailer for this one. So they're like,
I'm not a big movie person though.
yeah. So it's kind of like the fact that I came upon it was actually like, what are the odds? So they are like astronomers that somehow, I can't remember, but they find out there's a big asteroid heading towards Earth.
Okay.
And they're like legitimate geniuses who are like, this thing's happening.
Yeah.
So the whole movie is about them trying to get to the powers that be to tell them like this thing is coming at us and we have like this many days and everything's going to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a comedy somewhat, but it's so fucked up because like nobody really cares and they're worried about like the media and how it comes across and basically taking these actors like on stage, like major news people.
Like how it is now in real
It's
life, basically how it's just
real life.
Yeah.
And it's like the behind the scenes of how they operate and manipulate.
Everyone's an actor.
And I was like blown away when I saw this. I'm like, they're just telling us how ridiculous everything is.
Yeah.
And I was shocked.
That was one of the first things that we learned when we went down our holes.
Yeah.
They have to tell us.
They have to
everything
tell you.
going on.
Well, do you want to hear it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real, this is not real. This isn't happening. Kate, tell me this isn't really happening.
I hear there's something you don't like the looks of.
We discovered a very large comet.
Oh, good for you.
It's headed directly towards Earth.
This comet is what we call a planet killer.
At this exact moment, I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess?
Sit tight.
And then assess. The sit tight part comes first, and you got to digest it.
That's the assessment period. This is the worst news in the history of humanity. He just blew us off.
What are we gonna do? We have to release the information.
So we just leak it.
Our guests today have made a pretty big discovery in space.
How big is this thing, though? Can it destroy my ex-wife's house? Is that possible?
There's a 100% chance that we're all going to die.
Oh, anyways, it's insane. And I can't believe more people haven't seen it. In the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio gets kind of caught up in the whole celebrity of it all too. And you know what I'm saying? That was a wild part of showing you the back end of just like media and creating whatever. And like the fact that no one cares. So it is humorous, but it is also scary.
Our reality.
If you're enlightened, it's bizarre. There's a lot of movies and shows that just totally tell you how it really is.
And it goes over people's heads.
It is bizarre to me that it goes over people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
We even have friends that are like, I don't get it. Like, what do you, like, why, what is it? And then you're like, okay, well, we're going to just like walk away from this conversation because it's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot. And it's like really like, it breaks my heart though. I feel like when you finally wake up to what's actually happening in our world, no looking back. Like you can't like keep a close eye to it. Like it's actually more comforting knowing, in my opinion, I mean, versus being completely ignorant to what's actually going on.
If you know, but you know God, it makes it okay. If you don't, then it could be
be very scary.
Yeah.
Which is where I was at one point because I didn't really know God too well.
Yeah.
Because I was even questioning. I thought that was a conspiracy at one point.
Right. Well, I mean, Peter was on a journey. I know I've shared here, I've told you a million times that I wasn't ready for. So he was having all this, like downloading all this information. And because his faith was strong and mine was not at the time, I was like, dude, just stop. Enough is like, I can't hear anymore right now. You know what I mean? Because then you feel hopeless.
Yeah. But now we're like, whoa, look at this is awesome.
Yeah, bring it on.
This is
unless
great.
my kids ask me an elementary level question about God, then I'm like I'll be like, oh man, like when you start like having to like
break down their world and
then I'm like,
well, not their image,
but like you get a little bit anxious because you're like, like I feel bad sometimes
because part of it is about just being innocent to all of it too. Like you really are ignorant and innocent. Like you don't really.
And that's a nice place to be.
It is nice. So actually,
when you're a child,
yes,
not when you're a grown adult.
But it's hard too because we didn't grow up like with that knowing either. Yeah. So like a part of me is just kind of like, well, is it better that they know now, or is it like, do we just protect their innocence with all of it? So
I don't know. I feel like my kids are they're aware of things. Like I told you, Maria Louisa was taking pictures of the sky the other day, and then I'm like, oh yeah, send those to Holly. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, look what they're doing, So like to see your 11-year-old, 13-year-old be like get pissed off about shit that's in food or that's going on, and you're like, okay, I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because they're aware, at least they know. Like they're like
my son said the other day, he goes, Mommy, am I eating poison? Is that poison? And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Because I think I said that. I'm like, it's poison.
It's poison. That's chemicals. If it's chemicals, Peter will say, Mommy, is this chemicals?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Sorry, buddy.
I know.
Oh gosh, what's the big thing that they're everyone's sharing now is the Band-Aids.
But that's Johnson & Johnson Band-Aids with
but I actually am. This is how I see it, because even when Danielle brought it up the other day, I'm like, but I mean, how often are you getting hurt that you're worried about what's in Band-Aids, right? In the big scheme of things, how many Band-Aids are your kids wearing that you need to be worried? Because everything you ingest, the plastic cups you're drinking out of, the plastic containers.
Depends on who you are, I guess.
Yeah, but like everything is wrapped in plastic, purchased in plastic. You're dishing up food on plastic. I mean, I don't dish up food on plastic, but and then most people are putting creams and lotions and soaps on their body that have all kinds of shit in it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, so now we're going to make a big deal about Band-Aids. Band-Aids? That's what we're worried about? You cut yourself once a year?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I to me, it's been pretty humorous.
It depends on, it's like who's making the outrage is what's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? Because when you do all the things to protect yourselves, protect your family, and you're trying to eliminate as much as possible, and it's just like you hear band-aids like, oh my God, like one more thing. Like when's it gonna stop?
Right.
You know? Because I remember I was pissed about it because my son just went through like 16 band-aids in the last like
I know.
freaking 2 weeks.
Right.
You know? Like,
And they want a Band-Aid for everything. They're like,
Yes.
it's going to be doing. You're like,
yeah. But it's just
I wish
like,
I was that mom that was like, oh, you know, when it's someone else's kid, you're like very accommodating. When it's your own kid, you're like, oh, God.
just stop. I know.
Yeah. So the Band-Aids was humorous to me. Although, you know, we did a podcast that you just put out, our last one, I believe, right? We did frequency of clothing and materials and stuff like that. And so yesterday went to the dentist for like, you know, 20th time this year because I have too many kids, but middle one had her school uniform on and she didn't have like bloomer shorts underneath it. And I'm like, Holly, she's in the chair, she's like kicking her legs up. I'm like, you need to wear shorts underneath when you don't have your tights on or whatever. And I'm like, do you need shorts? You know, she's like, they're too tight. So I'm like looking online to get some shorts. I just want cotton shorts.
Did she find
You
any?
cannot find cotton shorts.
I just said that the other day during a
Nothing.
podcast. I was literally looking for just basic clothes.
Yeah, I know, polyester,
like
everything.
a shirt, like a couple shirts I can put in rotation or something. Nothing.
Is 100% cotton.
Nothing.
Definitely not going to find linen.
There's polyester and everything.
Yes,
There's nylon and everything. Spandex and
yes.
everything.
Because I was like, cotton shorts, cotton underwear? No, cotton,
nothing.
5% spandex, 10% spandex.
Nothing. That's what I just said. I know.
Jeans are not like,
Forget it.
yeah, jeans are ridiculous.
And
So-
when you do find something, it is super, because I found a couple shirts that were made from pure wool, like 100%
Like a
organic
sweater
wool.
or
Yeah, like sweaters and a couple like turtlenecks and stuff. But they were like $60
Yeah.
for like one, and it was like, and like God forbid, like you put that thing in the dryer.
Oh yeah,
like, you
just
you
washing
won't.
it's going to be.
And so it's just
Well, that had me kind of thinking because then when I came home yesterday, you know, my husband likes Lululemon underwear. And he just swears by them. He'll tell anybody he knows. It's the best underwear. Okay. So sometimes I'll buy cheap ones and they just suck. You know, I don't wear underwear. So I don't have an underwear problem. But I would imagine underwear is a delicate situation, delicate part. So anyway, so I was on the website and I was struggling because I'm like, I love Lululemon, but it's definitely one of those
low frequency
low frequency
companies that you discussed.
Yeah. And then I was like, because in the same line of the underwear is their bras. Their sports bras. I mean, they last forever and they're so nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
And I hate bras too, but I have to.
Yeah, he had no choice.
But I don't wear like the crisscross like boulder holder bras.
Yeah.
I wear like kind of like a candy.
comfy,
kind of
yeah.
ones, yeah. So anyways, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like think about how sinister. I know we talked about it briefly in the podcast, but like women and breast cancer and, you know, your lower parts, you know, between the men and the women and the parts and the breasts and all the tissue. And then you're putting these chemicals on all day long, every day, all day long, restricted and
I know.
And these chemicals, like,
Yeah, it's just
any way you look at it, not to make people who are listening like go down, like, oh God, I get rid of everything. But it is something to think about if you can limit it at all, you know, to where maybe when you're at home.
I mean, it's a lot of information. We can do that too with like anything that we do. Like, you know, I remember going down like the fluoride path and I was freaking out about.
Oh, they got fluoride on their teeth the other day.
Oh, did they really?
I'm like, just go rinse it out. And
did they ask?
No. Because Annalise was like, this is really bad. Can I spit this out? Annalise, you can't eat or drink for 30 minutes. And she's like, why? And she's like, otherwise, you know, we won't stay on your teeth or something. So I'm like, I can't. She said, that's how my third one is. If the teacher said, if this person said, like, she's very much I'm like, just
my gosh.
And
I can't believe they didn't ask.
No. And it's like must be like I didn't even see him do it, but maybe like a paste or something.
Yeah, it's like it's a
The only thing,
polish. But like I was saying, like I can go down that path with everything that we're using. Like I went down that path of fluoride with like our toothpaste, and then like freaking out of it being in our water, in my shower water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like drenching myself in this. And then you can do that with the food and what you're, eating and all the chemicals in our food. And then now our clothes. Now,
yeah, I mean,
like,
it
you
takes you
can-
down a, it takes you
it takes you down a really bad path, and it can get a little scary. And I just feel like,
Well, imagine sweating. Let's just like hang on that thought.
Yeah.
Because I like where you're going. But if I bought only cotton, everything, and the way that my family's so active, like you'd be walking around with a death cloth on of cotton, wet cotton hanging. You should think about it. Like imagine working out
yeah,
in like a cotton
it'd be bad.
t-shirt, sweatpants.
Yeah.
Cotton would be better than wool,
Yeah.
obviously, but there isn't a lot of options,
Mhm.
as far as materials are concerned.
Yeah, because
So I'm not saying
I know, like my husband was like, so he was asking the other day what we're talking about, and I was telling him about all the frequencies with our clothing,
And
he's
again,
like-
please go listen to that.
Yeah.
That most recent.
And he's like, well, you guys are kind of like hypocrites if like you're in this discussion and you're sitting there wearing like, jeans and spandex and stuff. And I only do so much. It's just good to be aware of it's good to be aware of how sinister everything is around us.
Or
And-
just how thoughtful God was, even with here's why we wear this, and
Yes. And look how far we've strayed.
right,
And I just feel like it's more dangerous to have like a blind eye to it.
right.
And you can make tiny adjustments, like as you go, like start eliminating, one thing at a time. Or like I remember when I was doing that with
Products.
my cleaning products and all of, like my body products. It'd be like once I ran out of dish soap, I would go and buy like the good dish soap that I
Right.
had. Like it wasn't like I had to like clean out my entire house and replace
Throw
everything at
away.
once.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
Because I'm
one
that
thing at a
person.
time.
I would throw it.
I know.
Water. Just so you know,
Mhm.
the company that I use near us, they can put a filtration system on your whole water tank, and it's not actually that expensive. We spent $500, and it's moved with us,
Oh, really?
and it takes out chlorine. Chlorine in the water. I used to smell it in the kids' bath, and that's why I initially did the water filter on the main tank. So it's enough to get out the main tank chlorine and some fluoride, some other things. And then the sink one takes out whatever you want. There's different filters for different things.
Okay.
I mean, you could do reverse osmosis. You could do all the different things. Or you can alkalize your water, whatever it is. But it is something to consider. It's not like once you install it, you're done, you move, and then you can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry. It makes a little bit like a little less stress in that department.
Yeah.
But I don't even know, like I cannot put a dishwasher pod in my dishwasher that's like a standard synthetic one,
Mm-hmm.
because I taste it.
Yeah, you are super
Yeah, I
sensitive
taste
to
it. It's
that.
terrible. I'll go to
Yeah.
a restaurant and
You can
if
taste the
they
cleaner.
washed with certain, because I know the cleaner, because I used to have a kitchen, you have to clean stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's not like dried properly, and they're like high turnover, I can taste it. It's terrible.
Ew, it's
And it's
gross.
like, if you've worked around it and you read the warning labels, you don't want to eat at a restaurant anymore.
Well, it even says on the warning labels, which makes me laugh. It says don't ingest, and here we are cleaning with it, and then eating off
and then we eat off of it. It's
stuff of it.
terrible.
It's disgusting.
Well, I can taste, like I bought these cups, metal cups they're like camping cups, but
Mhm.
my kids kept breaking all the glass I had. But I can't drink out of those.
No,
I could taste the metal.
really?
And I'm like, if I could taste that metal, then
You're probably
shitty.
drinking it.
Yeah, so I'm done. I'm going back to glass. If they break the glass, they break the glass. The mason jars,
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty sturdy. But
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So we went full circle with that, but
Oh.
but yeah. So why? I mean, I feel like going back to the movies, give those. Well, we can't watch the Fly Me to the Moon until July,
That's not coming out to them.
but don't
Speaking
look
of
up.
other movies, did you see the Civil War one too?
No,
It's coming out.
mm-mm.
Oh my God, that's the scariest one ever. It's called Civil War.
Like an upcoming Civil War or history.
Oh no, like upcoming.
Oh my goodness,
Dude. So I think
What?
Danny and
When's that
I,
coming out?
we're gonna go see it this weekend,
Really?
and I think we'll probably be
What's it rated?
ammo afterwards.
Yeah.
It's rated R.
Rated R. Okay. I didn't want to go see a movie, but I'm not into movies, so I didn't.
No, this one looks pretty scary. It looks, I mean,
A little too scary for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, because it's probably a little
violent.
Well, that and very close to reality.
Sucks. Really?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
The culture wars, and then with
Really?
the
Okay.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah,
What
okay.
can I say? What can I say? What are we calling them now? Because I don't want to get canceled.
Mm.
But you know how it is. I think I'm gonna go this weekend. Danny and I, my husband and I, wanted to go.
that's what we call truth in plain sight, right?
I mean, it was. They showed it during the Super Bowl. It was one of the trailers that they showed, and I'm like, man, if that's not predictive programming, I don't know what that is, because that is coming.
That's frightening.
It was very scary. Yeah. So
Speaking of being canceled, I posted a video on Instagram today, and I got a message saying I wasn't able to monetize the video because I went against some policies. So of course I sent it to you because I'm like, what did I do wrong? It was like joking around
showing off our plants.
making fun of my house being totally a disaster with all my plants everywhere. And I bought can I say it here? I bought a thing that chips wood,
Yeah.
but I said it how it's supposed to be said, and
And you showed the picture of
I
it.
showed the picture of it, but apparently these things.
Well,
what did I do wrong?
what did she do wrong? And I think it's because
I got 2 warnings,
You got 2 warnings
Yeah.
for that?
like 2 policy something. Maybe fat shaming because I showed my scale.
I don't know.
I make people weigh themselves when they come in my house.
I don't.
Go on Instagram, follow Raw Trainer, and see what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and tell me what I did wrong. They
It's-
didn't take the video down, but I can't get
I think it's because you said wood.
Ipper.
CHI. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is something that's it's like a trigger word for people who like young people.
It's so weird. I've not.
And what we talk about when we talk about like how,
We're gonna rectify the problem.
yeah, by using a wood.
Ipper. Well, I'm sorry, Instagram.
No, I think that's really
I didn't mean to
why you got
offend it.
canceled, because that's a thing. A lot of triggers, a lot of trigger warnings.
Oh.
It's pretty bad. I mean, I have that one account we were talking about
Yeah.
today. It grew to 60. Well, at one point it was
What's
like
it called
70.
Because you have 2 similar, not super similar.
It's Black Sheep and the Wolf's Den.
That was your first one.
That's my first
Black
one.
Sheep and Wolves Den.
Yeah, it got to like 70,000 followers, and then I think I probably got like, I don't know. They removed like, I think 3 videos total, and I think I had like, I don't know, all kinds of warnings. But now, ever since that political thing that they did, where they stopped showing political content, I think they went through and
Well,
like
people can, you can choose
to see
to see politically sensitive content, but you have to go in and say that you do.
Well, it's not even just political sensitive content either that they're suppressing. It's also anything that's like culture related or
Okay.
Societal.
So if you are on
issues.
on Instagram specific, you have to go into your settings and change that restriction. Otherwise, you won't see
Yeah.
anything that's on the fringe
Yeah.
of normal,
Right.
what they want you to see.
What
basically.
anything that's against
Yeah,
the
so it's
social
automatically
norms.
turned on unless you turn it off.
Yeah. But ever since then, so like I've lost, they keep taking away my followers, like
But you know what's
by
interesting?
hundreds.
You have to go in to change that setting.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to see like kind of scandalous shit, I have to actually go in and block it.
Yeah.
So you'll show me shit I don't want to see
Mm-hmm.
of like, half naked people talking like perverts. And I have to go in and purposely block that, but you're going to block content that
Is
I have
actually
the right to
matters.
see. Yeah.
And it actually
and I-
matters is actually going on
Right.
like in the world.
So weird.
I know. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So you have another page, and that one's called say it because
so then my backup is
Your
the
backup-
Uncontrolled Black Sheep.
uncontrolled black sheep,
Yeah,
which
and
is doing really
That one,
well.
they haven't touched that one yet.
So my advice this morning was behave yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
if possible.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah,
without losing your good content,
yeah, I know.
It's just bullshit.
It is the censorship.
That's why some of these people that you follow that have like, if you have like 300,000 followers on YouTube and you're covering fringe information, you're probably a shill.
Yeah,
Because they're they're not letting things like that be seen unless they're putting you out there on purpose, I think.
I agree. Because I know like the small guys
Yeah.
like us, we're all getting suppressed.
Yeah.
So
Well, anything else you want to talk about?
no, not really.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got to catch up again.
Yeah.
We'll hit it hard next week.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not listened to, what did you title the last podcast? Because it was funny.
Tear my sackcloth, or tear the sackcloth, not the linen.
Yeah. There you go. All about the frequency of music, clothing, stones, rocks. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I think that was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
So in the last podcast, we talked about the 528 sound.
Yeah.
528 hertz being healing
Yeah.
for music. You know, so if you type in top hits, 528
Yeah.
hertz, there's not a lot. Okay.
No.
But you're right. Almost all of Bob Marley's music is, which is just crazy to me because I've been listening to it for eons. Well, I was like, I used to love Sublime.
I love Sublime. They're my favorite.
I know, right? So there are some of their music is also fun.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You know what? I freaking love reggae music.
Yes.
Like that is
That's
my go-to.
Sublime was like, at the time, it was like reggae, punk, a little bit of, like a little bit of hip hop, I guess you could say, like in there. That was,
I love
shit.
Sublime.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that was one of my last concerts I've been. Well, not
Really?
Sublime with Rome.
Oh, okay, but still. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh
awesome.
my God, it was the best. Yeah.
So his son played at Coachella, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There used to be a reggae band that was around Cleveland. What was their name? Do you remember going around seeing them? I don't remember, but they played a bunch of like Bob Marley and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were good. They were like.
See, I would love.
Oh yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And now Maria's into it.
Really?
So I'm like, score.
I love it. Yeah, if you just put in like Sublime Radio,
Yeah.
it's the best.
Even yesterday in the car, like the kids were jamming out to it. The two little ones, we were running around, and I'm like,
And speaking of music too, it's probably not our healing frequencies, but
you never know.
I started because I just wanted to change things up a little bit, and I want to listen to some hip hop. So I put in like I listen to Pandora or Spotify, and I put in like Christian hip hop. Man, that stuff's good.
I know, isn't it?
Like, how is this? I'm looking at this like, why? How is this not mainstream?
I know.
It's
so,
better than
I
mainstream.
know. It's just.
There's a couple songs I kept screenshotting. And I'm like, these are like really good songs.
I know.
And so I was out in my garage working. Like I was just lifting a couple weights for like 10 minutes, and I put that on, and I'm like, this stuff is better than what they have out in the radio now.
Oh, the stuff on now. It's like I try to think about what my parents probably thought about the music I listen to, but I'm sorry.
The music out today is terrible.
The hip hop, everything now is bad.
I don't even know what they're saying.
Did I send you that video from a counselor or a psychologist who said the reason why when you turn on your music from when you were in the teens, like it makes you feel good is because like there's like something in your brain. It's like legitimately like something that happens in your brain that takes you back. I guess when you listen to hit songs from when you were a teenager, it does some sort of therapeutic thing to your brain.
Where it takes you back
It's it like
to like that
to that
feeling.
right to that feeling. Yeah, not like takes you back in time, but like it triggers something in your brain, which it would explain so much if you think about it.
Well, yeah, because like everyone likes what they listened to when they were teenagers for the most part.
Let me see what it's called. Hang on.
Thing called neuronostalgia, where researchers are actually finding that the music we listen to as teenagers bind to our brains differently than anything we're ever going to hear. So literally one of the best coping skills and things that I still do myself is listen to the music that you love to listen to, like bangers as a teenager. That's like fuck people, like whatever. Listen to that because
Neural nostalgia.
Huh. You know what's funny about that too is I feel like same thing could probably be said with like stuff we used to watch. Like
like
movies,
right,
and cartoons or whatever.
characters,
We're watching,
yeah. Very true.
And smells.
Smells are a big one.
Smells are a big one. Sometimes I'll get a whiff of something and I'm like, man, that's taking me back. And I don't even know where that's taking me back to, but that is a very familiar smell.
Yeah. It's weird because I like the smell of Michelob beer.
Really?
And I know it's so freaking weird, but I can remember my dad was never like a big drinker, like nothing like that. But there was like a specific summertime thing where he would like be working in the yard or something or come home from work and he would like have a beer and that smell, like I like that smell. And oddly enough, cigarettes don't bother me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be in a room with a smoker like this, but the off smell of a cigarette, I'm like,
really?
Like it's not bad for me. Like I'm like, it can't be in my face. I can't be sucking it in. But if I smell it, I'm like, it's kind of...
See, I used to smoke.
Yeah.
And I used to be a heavy smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And when I quit, like it was so bad. When I quit smoking, I became super sensitive to all smell.
Yeah.
Because I think
then you were like, oh, that's what that smells
like. Oh my gosh. I remember I went to an Indians game and I could literally smell like everyone's ketchup. Like on like their burgers and hot dogs. And I went, I'm like, I cannot take this.
That's my life every day.
Yeah.
Like,
and so like now, like I can smell when someone is smoking in front of me, like 3 cars in front of me.
And it bothers you.
And it bothers me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'm like, I
for some reason it doesn't bother me. It's the weirdest thing.
It never used to.
Yeah.
Obviously when I was smoking, it never used to.
But I smell everything. I can smell.
I feel like I'm a same
I
way.
could smell a weed gummy in a pocket in a coat at a party. I'm not even kidding. I'm like a dog. I'm like a dog. I'm like, someone has a gummy.
Yeah.
Like that's how sensitive my sense of smell is. It's so bad. But I also know how to shut it off to where I don't inhale through my nose. So I'll talk a certain way and my husband's like, how do you do that? I'm like, how do you not know how to shut it off? If I had to smell everything that was around me, I would be miserable and I'd be sick all the time. So I have to like shut it down.
No, I used to work at a nursing home.
Oh yeah, you know, girl.
Oh yeah, I know.
Masks were a blessing when you had to do that. I mean, think about it. Like, ugh.
Yes.
Yeah, those are smells I have no business ever smelling. I can't get that out of here.
I know.
I was telling someone the other day, track season in high school, the smell of the rubber and the fucking rain, just like this. This is track season, pouring rain, but there's a smell to the rain, and then on top of it with the rubber. If I smell it to this day, I'm like, ugh. That's not a nice.
No,
that's not like, oh yeah, spring.
Doesn't
Like,
bring it back.
No.
Doesn't bring it back to that's not good neurologic
No, that's the
nostalgia.
negative one. So, anyways, we kind of said we were getting off, and now we're back.
I know.
Sorry,
You gotta go all over the place today. I don't want to go to work. My husband's texting me saying I have to go to work.
He's like, move your ass.
He's like, get out and go to work.
Well, until we meet again,
Yeah.
make sure you people tell us what you want to hear about.
Yeah. Give us some ideas. My one girlfriend said that she wants us to go over managing like our time, which we kind of touched on a little bit today.
Managing time.
Managing.
I have some tips on that, believe it.
Yeah. That'd be a good one to bring Anna on for.
Yeah. We got a friend with 11 kids. She might be a better
go-to for that because she's got her stuff together. Or at least how do we make ourselves look like we have it together?
Yeah. I'm pretty hard on myself, I have to say.
Are you?
Yeah. Like I will be like, I'm not doing any of these things right. This is a disaster. This is a, everything. And then other people are like the standard that, I think I should be at versus what is probably normal doesn't match up. Think about it.
I think I'm the opposite though.
Really?
Which I think is even worse. I think I have my shit together and then like something happens and I'm like, man, I don't have my shit
guess my
together.
default is always you fucking suck. So if I get any better than that, then I'm like, good. No?
No.
Then I probably have problems. Yeah, time management. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Love you guys.
See ya. Peace out.